best way to deal with is intermittent fasting. Putting yourself on a diet is not like even physically, like physicianly doctor approved way to lose weight. It's bad. It's really, really bad for you and unhealthy to put yourself on a diet. You should definitely seek like going to the gym and like there's other ways, but going on a diet really is unhealthy for you.
But what if you can't go to the gym? What if you work 2 jobs in a week?
I'm supposed to eat
intermittent fasting is something that many people can
like
do.
little things a million times a day.
Like Jeremy, sometimes you can. But fasting is something that helps people a lot, where you don't have to diet, you don't have to eat specific like types of things. You just don't eat for a certain amount of time, and
that's horrible for you.
It's not though.
It's actually healthy for you.
It's proven to actually be healthy for you. I personally fast most of the day as well.
I won't believe it until I see actual study on it.
All right, thanks.
Are you going to look for an actual study on it?
I am doing it right now.
Here we go.
Because, and if it's anything done by a religion, I'm immediately not believing it.
It's not based on religion. Fasting in general is a physically like exercised and like trainer based like thing. It's a healthy thing to fast.
It is.
It works for the military. Like they have that also part of their training regimen.
The diet doctor, the life. I want to hear a study. Fasting diets facing. Oh, that's WebMD, but fuck, it's the only one I can find.
That's WebMD. I have cancer now.
Not again.
Harvard.
It'll be the 4th time,
Here,
right?
Harvard Health. Harvard Health released. I'll even link this one if I haven't read it yet, but Harvard released a study on it. I will believe Harvard.
But not your friends.
Yeah. No, okay, all right. Just so everyone's.
That's not what I'm saying. I just say it.
Wait. I want everyone to be clear.
I just like to be devil's advocate.
Wait. My mother would always say things to me, and she would never prove them. She would never have any kind of back for them my whole life, and I would repeat them in school, and all my friends would come down on me because it's the stupidest shit. And in my mind, I'm like, my mom told me this. So no, I have learned over my life. I do not believe something unless I see facts on it because of my mother ruining my school.
I was going to say ours was the opposite. Our mother told us the opposite, that always do your research first and that you should think for yourselves and don't believe what people tell you.
Yeah, my dad.
Aren't you lucky?
My brother.
Well, my mom's also a flat earther and a conspiracy theorist.
Really?
Yes,
right?
I know. I just laughed to myself.
I could probably talk to her and have her as a guest on here.
I would love to have her as a guest. I would love to have her.
Just some very interesting conversations because she's very religious.
I would love to have her on. I want my dad. My dad's in politics, right? He wants to come on. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, I might as well do one political one. Maybe after I wasn't going to. Someone wins.
Ted, what side of the fence do you lean on?
That's a good question.
Take a guess.
Get that one out of the air right now.
Is he a lefter? I would assume he's more right.
Yes.
My mom's very right wing too.
He's very right wing.
So my mom actually ran for the Maxwell Bernier when he was trying to start his own party there. My mom actually ran for his party for a little while.
My dad was in the Wild Rose. He was pretty high up. My brother
Dallas was also a ex-party member of the Wild Rose.
Yeah, oh good. So she did get along. My dad's very right wing.
Right, like my brother Dallas is super political.
He's pretty intelligent though. He knows.
Yeah, Dallas is super intelligent as well.
Yeah, he knows.
I might if that's later at night too. I might be able to arrange for that.
So
I'll see what nights Dallas is available, and we can set that up.
Yeah, I'd be down to help
Dallas.
After reading the article,
D&D on Thursday.
Yeah, I read it too.
I might go hang out with them on Thursday. So yeah.
So after reading that article, it says that if you're larger weight, they don't see a problem, but there's no actual studies done to see if it's good for you, like long term. only
Yeah.
short-term
It's
studies.
just a number
And
of, like,
the thing about
No
short-term,
one said it was long term, except for
yeah,
Andrew.
it's called intermittent fasting. That's the point why it's not supposed to be long term.
Isn't
It's
the point to be
intermittent.
intermittent because of the
You give
short
yourself a
time
time
frame
period
with-
where you can eat, but you don't eat for the other
the
X amount of
intermittent?
time.
The intermittent has to do with day to day, not with how long you do it for.
I don't know.
Like,
I
for me,
still
I do
don't
an 8
trust
to
it.
14.
I don't trust
I give myself 8 hours to eat whatever I want, and then 14 hours I don't eat.
I mean, I
What
do
do
it
you do for the
completely
other
by
2 hours
accident,
in a
but
day?
I only eat after work.
Well, it goes part and part with eating a certain like dietary,
Hayden, you
Oh, I
only
know.
not diet,
accounted for
but like
22
a
hours in a
nutritional
day there.
base. You eat based off a nutritional, like based off your body weight, how much sugar you intake.
The other 2 hours are sleep, Sarah.
Only 2 hours for sleep.
I mean, that's all I've been getting lately is about 2 hours.
Who needs
Oh,
sleep?
you guys
I mean,
need to
it's
sleep
Caffeine
more.
is where it's at.
Sleep is
No,
for the
no,
dead.
It's
This is
insomnia.
Yeah, me as
Oh.
well.
Yeah, I deal with insomnia.
I mean,
Insomnia, or I switch between insomnia and hyperinsomnia, which is where you just sleep too much.
Yes.
isn't that
I
called
have trouble with
something
both,
else?
too.
From what I've read, it's hyperinsomnia. Correct me if I'm wrong. Go for it. I'm always open to learn new things.
I tend to get distracted by like the things that I'm doing at night. I'm like, oh shit, it's like 6 a.m.
You guys want to know
Yeah,
something
that's
really
that's
crazy?
generally it too. Like I'll try to go to bed
That
around
too.
4 a.m.
I try to go.
And next thing I know, I'm fucking around my phone, and it's 6 a.m. I'm like, fuck, well, it's time to sleep.
Yeah,
And then I'll be fucking around with my phone again, like, fuck, I'm not supposed to do that. Or, like, I'll be thinking about just stupid shit. Like, random stupid shit.
or you just get like a good gaming party that lasts till like 8 a.m. You're like, oh.
That's something completely different. That
I
is
actually have-
completely different.
Yeah.
Why did I do this to myself?
Yeah.
I actually have so much trouble sleeping that for 3 years now, Jan and I have had our own bedrooms.
Oh, really?
But it's made such a huge difference. I can.
See, part of mine's the opposite. I actually miss the body warmth.
Yeah, that makes. I can't deal with that. Just having someone else there. The second he would touch me, I would wake up, and I can't fall back to sleep after that. So,
No, that's fair.
yeah. For 4
Jeremy,
years,
if you want, I'm sure anyone here would want to cuddle with you.
I mean, the
I don't
invitation
really.
is open.
You're pretty close,
No, you're
Jeremy,
pretty
but I'd
far.
rather not.
You're pretty far, and you just said how that's.
Okay.
I mean,
I'll
I'm
see you
only 4
tomorrow.
blocks away.
What about tonight?
I'm only 4 blocks away, buddy.
What am I
I'll have
supposed
to
to do
Uber
right
there.
now?
I'll give you air cuts from a distance. The best I can.
You know, I could just walk over there in
That's like
5
a
minutes.
16-hour drive, and
Yeah.
It's all the way over here.
yeah, I know. But it's Canada. By the time it gets here, it's still cold, and it doesn't matter anymore.
Jan can come cuddle with you.
I mean,
Jan can come cuddle
John
with
has
you.
a pretty
It'll be all
glorious beard. I could stroke his beard while he strokes my hair. That'd be great.
True, you
That's
could.
fair.
Yeah.
One
There
day.
you go. You
You've
can
also
start
got
your
long hair. You
OnlyFans.
could just stroke.
I'm
That
growing my
too.
hair out, so it'll be more. So.
Oh, Jeremy, you really rock the short hair look.
So it's not hyperinsomnia, it's hypersomnia.
There we go. Thank you.
Which makes more sense in terms of the Latin. I should have guessed.
Yeah. That's fair. That was my misunderstanding. I misread.
Hypersomnia. That makes sense because insomnia means you're out of somnia, which means you're not sleeping, and hypersomnia would mean
You're
The
doing
opposite.
nothing but sleeping.
I wonder what somnia in Latin means.
What
I'm
a
gonna guess-
question.
I'm gonna
Waking.
guess.
It's waking, right?
It's
No. No, it's obviously fish, right?
It's a jackal. It's a jackal. It's a jackal. It's got to be a jackal.
Take this out of
No, it's a giraffe.
Show me.
Show me.
It's got
Oh,
Upside down
I
giraffe.
ate ill. It made me remember all of my weird old life.
Folk with
Ooh,
D&D.
I
That's what we
can
would do.
cook with.
Bring out all the weird stories. It's out of you forgot or repressed all those years ago.
I don't know what you're on about. I don't repress anything.
Yeah, maybe not anymore.
I don't repress anything.
Yeah, again, maybe not
There's no
anymore.
point in it.
I'm sure you also have like 30 years behind you. Sure, at least there's different like experiences that probably are bad that are repressed.
I
I haven't
mean,
intentionally repressed anything, but like grade 10, I don't remember.
You don't.
gone.
Well, that's the thing. That's how it's repressed. If you don't remember it,
Yeah.
it's definitely repressed.
Oh yeah,
There's
it
no point in
absolutely is.
repressing anything. At the end of the day,
I have a
That's
100%
not-
memory.
I didn't try.
I
to
mean,
repress
clearly
it,
I don't
just-
repress
I-
things. I've said stories
It
that
was
people are like,
traumatic,
"Oh, that's
and I
not
don't
normal."
remember it.
I don't repress things. I depress things.
So how do you know if you repress things that you don't remember?
I don't repress things. I impress things.
How do you remember something that you don't?
I
remember?
depress things. It's easier.
How do you not remember something you don't remember?
That you're supposed to remember.
No, you leave the double negative.
How do you remember things you're not
Well, I was
supposed to
trying to
remember?
do a triple negative.
That's just too many negatives.
No, it's supposed to be extra negatives. That's not
You're just being too negative.
Andrew's just
Andrew.
negative.
You're being too negative.
That's okay. 'Cause in science, it's always
Two, as in the number two.
an opposite.
No more than
So
two.
You're welcome for being the negative because that means somebody else here is being the positive.
John's the positive. let's
Unless
be
you're
honest.
two negatives.
I'm pretty positive.
Well, that can't happen, John. That's against like scientific law.
Is it though?
Yeah, everything is equal or opposite.
But if you have two
But what
negatives
about
in math, that becomes a positive. I
It
mean,
does.
We're not talking about math. I was talking about science.
you know,
We're
math
not
is the.
talking about math.
All right.
Math
If we're.
is science.
Math is the only thing we can truly know that is real, other than yourself.
That's highly questionable.
No,
No,
because it doesn't matter.
It's like another language compared to any other.
Because in
fucking
any reality, any
language.
version of
Circle,
you,
squiggle, plus C,
Hold
plus
on.
circle,
the
equals X squiggle C circle C.
it doesn't matter. 1 + 1 will always equal 2, no matter
Well, that's
where you
that's
are
a lie.
and what
In
1 + 1
in our
equals
language.
Christ, John.
No,
In our language, it will, John.
in any
Plus
way.
sport plus, like,
It
sport
doesn't
math
matter.
equals
Considered the
water.
universal language. So if you believe some conspiracy theorists, after the
Yeah.
Roswell landing, they used math to converse with each other. They used
Exact.
grace.
Math is
Yeah,
the only
That makes
thing
sense.
that transcends everything, other than the fact that you know you exist because you can hear your own thoughts.
But what if you don't
what if-
exist because you
what if
don't
another-
hear your own thoughts?
what if
Well,
another
then you're just a
civilization
causality of
uses
my
math?
reality.
What if another civilization uses math in various different languages?
It doesn't matter. Math is
It
math.
doesn't matter. Math is
But what if that
universal.
were not-
That's why it's universal. Because
That's-
numbers
yeah,
are
dude,
universal. When
I
you
could-
hold up one finger, doesn't matter what language you're talking in, they know you're
Well,
speaking one.
No, I agree. But I mean, look in the case of Roman numerals, right?
Do you know
Yeah.
why we don't? Do you know why we use Arabic for numbers?
I
Because
don't.
It made more sense.
Because it was easier to teach poor people.
I was just trying to make a comparison.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0 are Arabic. Just so we're clear.
I know. I said, look at the Roman numerals.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter when you have a 1 and then another 1. Everyone knows
not
that's
even what I'm
2.
saying, John.
But that's
not
what
even-
it is. But that's
I'm
what it
saying-
is.
I'm saying if it's a different language.
Doesn't
They have
matter.
extra numbers.
It doesn't matter. That's the point.
But if they have extra numbers that we don't have,
There is no.
There
extra
is
numbers.
no such
no
thing.
language has extra numbers.
What the
That's-
fuck
there's
is
no such
that?
Thing is an extra number, Andrew.
as far as our
Andrew,
knowledge,
What do you mean as far as our knowledge? No,
I'm
What
literally-
you're just wrong. There is only the numbers.
You failed. Get out of math class.
I mean, I
Wait. Everyone, let the math teacher answer, please.
I didn't,
Yeah.
They could have another culture or another. These could have a non-base 10 numerical system, where like if you think about like binary, like computer code is 1 0, so that's a 2 base. That's like a base 2 number system because it has 2 different possible numbers. So a different species could have something that's like a 7 base system or a 12 base. We actually have quite a few things that are 12 base because we used to operate on a 12 base number system in our history. That's why time is in 60s and 12s and 24s. And
that's
all
kind of
that.
what I was trying to explain.
Yeah, so they could have something that works differently, and it could look different to ours, but in the end, they do translate between each other. It just takes a little bit of finagling to figure them out. That's sort of what different languages look like in math. It's
But
just having different
Once
bases.
again, it's still the math, right?
And it's like she said, it's still all eventually it'll basic down to what it is.
I can tell you right now. You know what my least favorite subject was in class?
Math.
Yeah, my fucking mind. You're a genius. You're a damn genius, John. It's like I don't care.
I'm using my tarot cards to read your mind.
Yeah, the big thinking brain today.
Well, you had the advantage on holistic medicine. I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah, no, math is not my strong suit. Neither is chemistry.
Well, neither.
Psychology is different.
The reason why we use the Arabic numerals and not Roman numerals is actually because of zero. Because Roman numerals don't have a zero, but Arabic numerals do.
Really?
See, that's what that's why I was.
Zero is the most powerful number in our number system.
It really is.
It is.
Tesla would have you believe it's 3, 9, and 6. I don't know the logic conspiracy thing.
Or mine.
Don't you mean 3, 6, 9?
That's exactly what I said.
No, you said 3, 9, 6.
Those are the same numbers, Jeff.
No, but the sequence actually matters.
It does.
Well, that's why I'm not sure if you heard the following part after. I don't know the conspiracy.
I heard you.
So I don't know that the sequence makes any difference. To me.
What I was going to say to you, Andrew, is I really am bad at math. The one thing I like about math, though, is the theory, because math theory is tied to Descartes, who's my favorite philosopher, and it's all about mind. The math, he basically divined that your thoughts.
I understand the theory between the actual application of it.
Because we gotta look at it like this. The way I started my basic into loving math as theory was the way Descartes said is first you exist because you can hear your thoughts. The next thing you know is math exists. Because it doesn't matter how you understand it, how you come to it, as long as you are of a higher thinking being, you will understand if you have one of something and then one of something, that's two of something. And you'll understand that. And so knowing that, you can then start to mold reality around you and using that power. And he basically puts a lot of power in the theory of math and your thoughts. And then you go into theoretical math, where it's through math that we know there's 11 dimensions. We have no way of perceiving them, but we know the math works out that way. There is no remainders. And we know when something is true, like absolutely true, like the speed of light, when we can prove it by math. When there's ever a variance in math, we know we're not exact. Whenever we do something in chemistry, in physics, and the math doesn't work out and there's a remainder, that means we did something wrong. But when the math comes out perfect, that's how we know we got it. That's how we know what the actual gravity is in terms of newtons. That's how we know what the speed of light is. That's how we know what a lightning bolt is. The math works out. And that always makes me happy.
Around us too.
Well, and that's can I ask a question on like how did because I don't know how did the addition of quantum physics and mechanics essentially change that outlook?
So I was glad you brought that up. So when you get to quantum mechanics, what it is, it's theoretical math and theoretical physics.
I'm a little better with quantum.
You're basically, so let's go to what used to be theoretical physics, like the most common known one, E equals mc squared. Energy equals the mass times the speed of light squared. That was actually theoretical physics that Einstein was putting forward with theoretical math. The problem was he didn't know, when he was trying to figure it out, he had to figure out what the speed of light was. And to do that, there was a bunch of little experiments he did, but every time he calculated the speed of light, whenever he had a remainder or whenever he had a repeating number, he knew he wasn't correct. So when he was finally able to actually pinpoint down with the math the speed of light, it was at that point he knew that he had actually figured out an equation, that he could figure out a part of the equation. And then the rest just came in, which is mass and energy.
Haven't we, like, from what my kind of knowledge, haven't we learned that light is like essentially way more perceivable than we can, based on like the two experiments?
I can't tell you who the scientist was, but I know the experiments were basically through slotted boxes. The two-slot experiment. That's what it's called. Yeah, because you find out that the wave is both a particle and a wave, right? Everyone thought that
Because it's people originally thought it was like you can only see it in the one space, but light travels in all directions.
And I think the other one was what is it? There was something else that proved it. It was how fast it travels.
Probably the refraction.
Something like that. I'm not like I said, I'm not good in the math and sciences, but I love theory. I love the theory.
Science was a little bit more kind of like.
And chemistry's just cooking. Oh man, I was always good at chemistry.
Chemistry's basic.
Really? Chemistry was the one science that I did.
Oh, I love chemistry. I could do it over again. Chemistry was so
I
good.
love physics.
I was worried to biology and physics.
That was chem bio.
But
Anyway, but like the point is when it comes to theoretical math, that's the coolest thing because of all the sciences, if the math doesn't support it, you're wrong. And that's the beauty of math. And math is right because it doesn't matter in what existence you live in or what your reality is. If your math is right, then that's a fact. And that's why it always makes me happy when they come up with a whole new math thing. Like when they started CERB and they came out with that. I remember reading about it like 2 or 3 years ago. They came out with a new a way to predict the electrons inside the particle cloud, and they actually had a mathematical formula. And that really excited me because like something they before thought was completely unpredictable and random, they actually found a pattern and were able to prove it with math, which means now they can actually, they think they were going to try and pull out observable electrons from, which is insane. That's almost as small as quarks and quarks, which is just insanity. You want to talk about like, splitting things in an atomic level. Like this is beyond atomic. This is a subatomic level. And the math supports it. It's the same with traveling forward in time. That's definitely proven through theory. The faster you go, the more.
I was going to say, buddy just did they came out with an article about that. Some German guy just did an experiment on that and was talking about how if you were a time traveler, paradoxes will not happen because time will recorrect itself in a way that will fuck with your shit. So if you were to say, go back and cure the Black Plague would find another way to spread itself and do all of the same shit it would normally have done without you going back to do that.
That's because time runs in also, just like light, it runs in both directions.
Yeah, some guy just came out with like his equation talking about how he just proved that theory.
Still though,
because time has already happened, you can't change it. Essentially,
well, time is fluid.
But you can still affect the difference.
Well, as soon as
exactly.
Change the outcome,
but it won't change the outcome.
Yeah.
The outcome.
There's also the theory that when you go back in time, you're not going back in your time. As soon as you go back in time, you split off into a different timeline.
Actually, not part of this guy's theory at all. This guy was including that as part of you were going back to your own, like Back to the Future. You could go back and stop your own birth. He said, no, that is not possible because time will recorrect itself in a way it'll just happen.
Because if you have to go back and
time is on a loop apparently that we cannot control. The future is ours to control, but the past is not.
Yes. We can only learn from the past, but we can't change it.
Yeah,
so that makes me wonder on some of the miraculously weird shit that's happening. If that's part of that, some of it.
Miraculously weird shit.
Yeah,
I mean, this disease that only kills 0.02% of the world shut down the entire world.
Despite everyone's attempts to.
That's. But hey, to try to stop it. To 0.02% into 8 billion is
the common cold.
350 million.
0.02% is the common cold. The common cold shut down the world.
Yeah. My original thought.
The common cold doesn't kill 350 million people in a year.
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
It does.
350 million.
Not on our side of the world.
Where is this?
We have medication.
You don't hear
shit for
those
that.
numbers.
Yeah, exactly. You don't hear about Africa's numbers. They don't have the medication there. You're hearing about.
But there's
India's
not
numbers,
300.
Their medication system is.
There's
pretty
not
sick.
350 million people. 300. There's not the entire population of the United States in Africa.
I'm sorry. Look at the numbers, man. The common cold is the 0.02% fatality rate. So is the fucking coronavirus.
Can I dial an idea back so we're not quite talking about current events to some degree? My interesting kind of thought was in the weird aspect of, say, a miraculous birth that perhaps not a lot of people can explain. If anyone has a similar idea of what I'm thinking about.
I feel like I know what you're talking about.
Senior Hizo Christie. Anybody? No.
What? No.
So the death rate for coronavirus is 0.4. First of all,
0.02%. Toronto just released the numbers.
40.
Ontario just released their numbers.
Like I said, I'm not good at math, but 43 million cases worldwide.
Originally it was 0.2% before America was in their disastrous situation. Of course, they're going to have inflated numbers, and they have a larger population than we do, so they're going to fuck with the numbers.
All it says is 43 million cases worldwide.
And look,
and 1.15
Ontario just
deaths.
released a fucking poll on their corona situation right now, and the numbers are 0.02%.
Anyway,
I was thinking like a perhaps Jesus Christ kind of birth thing. This say of time correction, or maybe the first time correction. Who knows? It's just a game theory.
That's a good point.
You're not allowed to drop that one until we're like rating frogs or something.
Why is it raining frogs?
Considering it.
Kyle, my friend, why is it raining frogs?
Maybe somebody did go try to cover as a person long before recorded times, and then now it's been changed, and it's because of that. Maybe this pattern has been set in stone. It's a possibility because there's no way to really disprove it.
I mean, the signs worked really well in the past. I would assume if he was going to do it, he'd do the same ones again because we still have that same book around, and a lot of us believe in those same signs.
No, I don't. I mean, like say when Jesus died, he was actually like supposed to die perhaps earlier, or for a different reason, or some other way, and someone fucked with that potentially as the first attempt of changing time, and has thus made the first and the only paradox that keeps correcting itself.
What?
I know, time's a weird thing.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah, not at all.
Me neither.
No.
What he's saying is, if Jesus was supposed to die earlier than he died, and someone went back and just tried to change that, then it corrected itself automatically, changing it to making it look like it was a resurrection.
Or perhaps a miraculous birth.
Wouldn't that be
That's a good question. Wait, I always get fuzzy on that. What happens after? He goes and sees a bunch of people, and then he just goes to heaven?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know the story.
Yeah,
I was thinking more of his birth to some degree. Like maybe somebody tried to kill his family or something before he was born, and then he ended up being born again in another woman.
I once heard a Catholic priest told me that what they don't tell you is the 3 days he was dead, he goes to hell and walks with the devil. And I was like, what?
A matter of
that is a matter of the belief.
A matter of perspective.
I never heard about that story though.
Yeah, that is not in the Bible. I don't know. The Catholic Bible has more than my Bible does, but that's not in my Bible. It is a Catholic tradition.
So what does he do for 3 days? Just kind of lounges around?
It does not say.
Does he just hang out for 3 days?
Oh,
maybe he does.
It's left up to your imagination, John.
It was a rather long slumber.
Sorry for you to imagine, John.
He becomes.
That gets to saying anything about that is
He becomes the first ever Christmas tree decoration.
Story about there were two thieves crucified on either side of Jesus, and he tells one of them that he'll be with him today in paradise, and that's all it has to say about it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, my original thought was that
I bet you
somebody tried to kill Jesus.
I bet you that's where Jimmy Buffett got his song titles
Mary
too.
had Jesus, it was because time had changed itself and had given her Jesus instead of his original heritage.
All I know is Jesus doesn't love me. He just stole my religion.
Regardless of who he was and what he was still a born person. My point idea was that he was born into a different family, and then perhaps the time correction had him reborn as in somebody else to still be born. You know what I mean? To still
or you're telling me that
you're
telling me that some young guy married his hot wife and didn't fuck her? I mean, now that's a stretch. It's an immaculate birth. I swear to God, I never touched my wife.
Where is the possibility of the potential of a time?
I thought she did stay a virgin.
Actually,
I thought that was the thing.
He was born, yes, but he has siblings.
But if they were married, that's not true because marriage is consummated. You're not married until the consummation. And that was a thing they did back.
I don't know.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that's true,
so that also makes me believe.
Are we poking holes in a religion, guys? Stop taking easy shots, okay? We gotta stop taking easy shots.
My brain says this is the thing that they did.
See, this isn't where I brought this. I brought this was to a weird time debate about if maybe time correction had caused Mary to give birth to Jesus. That was it.
Okay, I understand the point you were trying to get at, but I think it does not work.
Probably not.
In context of the rest of what the Bible says. But yeah.
All right.
That was my original thought. Just based on what we had talked about earlier. I wouldn't not really a thought I genuinely put stock into.
Any final thoughts, guys? I'm gonna been running for a while. I think we're gonna close it down.
Here, wait. Okay, here it is. Matthew 1 verse 24 says,
oh God.
Or 25. When Joseph woke up, he did what the angel of the Lord had commanded, marry home his wife, but he did not consummate their marriage until she gave birth to a son.
That is weird.
So
then technically he's a bastard child.
He is.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Again, so that still puts my theory of that is if maybe somebody in time had tried to kill him. How
it sounds like some
idea of killing Hitler before he was born, right? A lot of people have been if you could go back
know what?
It
sounds like a bunch of Council of Nicaea bullshit to me.
Andrew, there's actually prophecies of how birth was gonna take place in the earlier part of the Bible, so it would have to happen earlier.
I mean, that's fair. My main thought was that
prophesied.
Oh, was it? Fair enough then.
My
main thought, because I don't know, I have no context of this. My main thought was if somebody had killed him with his original family lineage before them, and then because of the time correction, had him rebirthed with somebody else.
I can see it as a...
And that's thus caused.
I can see it as a comparison for Hitler, but...
And I don't mean it that. I just mean say if somebody was...
And on that note, after the H word's been dropped...
multiple times now.
We're gonna say goodbye. As we have now fully... What is it called? What's that?
This is the Villains Talk podcast. You're surprised we're talking about a villain?
What's it called?
No, it's a villain, though.
No.
In some
point of view,
yes, he is.
What's it called? Todd's.
That's very dangerous.
Todd's.
It really is.
Is it? Anyway, there's a thing called Todd's rabbit hole, which is a real thing where it doesn't matter what you're doing on the internet, eventually it will all devolve back to Hitler. And we've now hit that point, and it's now time to close.
Is that rule 57 or something?
No, that's an actual real thing. It's called Todd's rule or something.
Well, there's also Rule 34, where everything that's ever existed, there's porn for it. So, that sounds like...
It was a pleasure having everyone tonight. Thank you very much.
This is about as par for the course as our normal talks.
Yes.
Yeah.
This was us, Sara, Jeremy, Caden, and Insanieac. Sorry you had nothing better to do, but glad you came. I mean, I did a little.
You act like I have anything to do usually.
Oh,
So we're also glad you came.
Yep.
I mean, at least we all came.
At least, I finished. I feel good.
Not the first time.
Oh boy.
And
I feel like I'm
it's